I love my sister for many reasons. She's my best friend. She helped raise me alongside my parents. She's very modest. She's very humble. I mean, she didn't, she didn't let nothing stop her.
I came here when I was 9 years old. My name is Johana Rivadeneira. I'm an immigrant from Ecuador, and I became a U.S. citizen a year ago. I left everyone behind, and I didn't realize I couldn't go back. I think once I stopped wanting to go back to live in Ecuador, that's when I guess I was like, okay. It's like you don't feel like you're from here, but then when I went back to Ecuador for so many years, then I felt like I wasn't from there. When we first moved here, we lived in a basement, so that made it even more like your world a little bit smaller. Like right now, no one lives there because it's not legal to live. You go in, it's the kitchen was there, tiny. And then that's when you go down the stairs, and then you take a left, and that's like the living room area. And then in front is a 1 bedroom, and then another bedroom next to it, and then a tiny one in the corner, which eventually that room became my room.
My sister was born in Ecuador, and I was born here. We're 12 years apart, which is it's a very big, age gap. But I still feel like, she's my best friend, and I could talk to her about literally anything I want.
Yeah, the kids, like la Jovita cogió rapidísimo el inglés.
Meses.
In meses, she was very good at English. It's like a sponge for us now.
Mom and dad worked crazy hours.
O sea, era duro porque si quería ganar un poco más, tenía que trabajar weekends. Especialmente domingo. Entonces era duro, ella se iba a trabajar y yo me quedaba con Jovita.
My dad in Ecuador is a dentist. And when we moved here, he had to work in construction. So I was, it was a shock to see him going to have his practice, from having practice to having these jobs of construction. Sometimes he will get laid off. Sometimes, he will have a job, sometimes not.
Nunca he renegado de mis trabajos. Nunca. Siempre he estado orgullosa de todo lo que he hecho. De todo lo que hemos hecho.
Sí, eso es lo que siempre le decimos. O sea, lo que nos toque hacer hay que tratar de hacerlo bien.
Bien, exacto.
I miss having that liberty to just say, I'm going to ride my bike. I'll be right back. That the food, the culture, my family, my dog, Bluky.
Yeah. No me gusta hablar del Bluky porque cada vez que hablo del Bluky lloro. That my dog.
So sad.
Yeah, I love my dog. And then,
yeah.
I had to leave him with a neighbor. And then he cried.
She lived just in the front to us. But she say he never be in her house. Always he get out and then be in our door.
Front door.
In our front door. He waiting for us every day.
He died. He escaped, and then they killed him on the streets. Yeah, there's things you don't get over. The way how my dog was killed, I never get over. I still get emotional talking about him. I still cry. I think that's what gets people the most. I think everyone more upset is the absence of family members that you get to leave behind.
My grandma's just an angel, you know, especially to my sister. My grandma meant the world to her. That was like my sister's best friend, you know what I mean? My grandma, my sister were like this. They were super close.
My grandma stayed with us for 3 years, but then she went back. It was sad because he didn't, so my uncle lives here. So after she left, she never saw my uncle again. I had a hope that we were getting our papers soon. So like, okay, she can't come back, but we could go there. But I didn't think it was gonna take that long. So I didn't see her for, after that, I think 9 years.
She kind of felt as if those 9 years that she missed out with my grandmother were robbed of her.
Because I couldn't be there when she got sick and she had to move. And then she was alone because then my mom and my uncle were here. So she was alone in her city. So I was very sad.
The immigration process here it's bullshit. You know what I mean? It's unfair. It's unjust. You know, people really risk their lives to come to this country just to be treated like shit.
We got the visa. Then we traveled here. We thought that we will get our papers maybe within 3 years.
To get their citizenship, it took 13 years.
13 years.
That's why it's very difficult to even come here legally, because it could take years. You really don't know. It's like a waiting game. It could take 2, it could take 5, it could take 15. It could take a very long time. Imagine every time they drove, you know, I mean, every time they drove, they were super anxious and scared, getting pulled over by the cops because they didn't have an official, like, U.S. license.
The fear of getting pulled over is always still, like, even though I have a license, I still get scared. I still get scared in the airport. I check every time to see if I have all my papers. And when you go through immigration, I was even scared when I got my citizenship. You know, they had to live family, careers for them. And since I'm the firstborn, you kind of like learn with your firstborn. You go along learning. So, you know, it's not like they did something on purpose to me. It was just part of, they were learning, I was learning.
Everywhere my sister had to go, she had to bring me.
Everywhere. If I wanted to go walk to the park, I had to bring you.
She took me to the park, to the playground a lot. She took me to the playground a lot, actually, to play and just to sit there and escape from everything and just chill. My sister was actually the one who named me. I think my parents just wanted to call me John.
I thought it was a little boring if they just called you John. So I said, put him John Anthony.
My sister decided on John Anthony because my mom's middle name is Antonia, and then my dad's name is John. So I guess my sister just kind of combined both the names into one first name.
They made sure they did things different than they did to me. And then one of the things my mom said, well, you know, I don't want to traumatize him like we did, you know, or like change his life around like we did with you. We don't want to do that mistake again.
But, you know, people always talk about, oh, we need to, like, guard our borders, you know, people should come here legally. Well, maybe people would be able to come here more legally if it was a lot more fair, the system, and a lot more open to immigration. My parents had it very lucky. My family had it very lucky, but a lot of families don't.
Oh, mira, ahí está la mamita Flor.
Moving here does give you a different perspective of life. It makes you appreciate different things. It makes you feel more grateful.